Welcome to the Hub Podcast, recorded right here in Richmond, Indiana. I'm your host, Michael Allen, and on the Hub, our mission is to share stories of people making a difference in our region. In addition to hosting the podcast, I work with a wonderful team of staffing professionals at Manpower. Manpower is helping companies all over East Central Indiana find staffing so they can continue to grow and thrive. Find out how we can help your company at mprichmond.com. Welcome to the Hub, and with us today is Dan Groth. Dan is the Executive Director for our local Habitat for Humanity. Welcome, Dan.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming onto the Hub and for joining us. I think the first thing I want to do is maybe just give you a chance just to tell a little bit about yourself, your background. You're not originally from the area,
No.
so how you ended up here, and that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm an East Coast boy, born in New York, raised in New Jersey, went to college in Massachusetts, and then I started a career with the Boy Scouts of America, and I ended up in Colorado for 4 years. And then I got promoted and transferred back to Connecticut, and I served out in Norwich and then out in New Haven, and then ended up in Indianapolis after that. And from Indianapolis, I went back to Connecticut, and then we moved back here, and I said, we've moved enough. And I've also worked for the American Red Cross locally for 10 years. And now this is my second year with Habitat for Humanity.
Is that what brought you to Richmond, is the Red Cross position? Or how'd you end up in Richmond?
We actually, we moved back from Connecticut. We actually were renting in Indianapolis, but I was working with a friend down here, so we decided to buy a house down here.
Okay.
And that's how I got here. And then I went back to work for the Boy Scouts for a short period of time. And then that's when I ended up with the Red Cross.
When you were in school, did you think that going into not-for-profits was going to be a career path for you? Is that what you wanted to do?
Yes, because I was in the Boy Scouts as a kid and worked on camp staff for 7 years in the Delaware Water Gap area, and all of our camp directors were district executives, professional position with the Boy Scouts. And I learned a lot from them, but I also thought I could do that job better. Uh-huh. And I, through my guidance counselor in high school, found a college, which was Springfield College in Springfield, Massachusetts, that had a program that was community leadership and development that prepared people for nonprofits and local, state, and federal government jobs. So yeah, I knew I was going to do it.
Part of that process, I mean, did you over the years have to write a lot of grants or try to find money for the organization that you work for, or was that always someone else's job?
Pretty much it was always somebody else's. It doesn't mean I haven't done it, but the first 3 Boy Scout councils that I worked for, there was no more than 7 of us on staff. When I came to Indianapolis, that shot up to 36 on staff. So there was a whole fundraising department.
Mm-hmm. So what did those jobs like? Because you spent a lot of time with the Scouts, mm-hmm. And so what encompassed that job, and kind of what was your responsibilities?
Well, with the Boy Scouts, the big thing was the number of Cub Scout packs, Boy Scout troops, and Explorer posts that you had, and the number of kids that were in the program. Mm-hmm. So that was your primary thing, was opening up new packs, troops, and posts, or helping one reorganize. So what I liked about that position was I wasn't tied to a desk. Mm-hmm. So I put a lot of miles on my vehicles in that time. So the last district I worked in was Fayette, Rush, Shelby counties, and everything south of 70 in Hancock and Henry. Mm-hmm. So territorially, it was big. But my first districts that I worked in Colorado were bigger than the whole state of Rhode Island.
Okay.
So I did a lot of traveling out there.
So most of the money, the administrative money for the Scouts, does that come from primarily government funding that provides that, or it is all?
It's primarily individual and corporate giving.
Okay.
As opposed to grants and that sort of thing. Doesn't mean that we didn't get grants. It just wasn't the primary.
You mentioned we moved here. I think there's this person that's pretty well, I mean, you're a pretty well-known guy, but there's this other person as part of the we, Noreen, right?
Correct.
Your wife's been pretty active in this community and done lots of things. And
we always say that if you hire or recruit one of us, you get both of us.
Yeah.
To help. So
what's Noreen doing these days?
She's at the Leland Legacy and totally loves it.
Yeah. I'm sure she's got a great personality. I'm sure the people there really enjoy having her there.
She loves it there. I think she plans on retiring and they'll just move a bed into her office.
One thing that, I mean, we will talk about habitat here in a minute, but one thing that in these podcasts I've done like 99.9% of the time is ask people, because employment is my career, is going back a few years. What was your first job? Do you remember what that was? What your very first job was, where you got a paycheck?
That was Boy Scout summer camp.
Okay, as like a.
I was 15 years old and I got $25 a week.
Okay, room and board too, meals.
Yeah, which was a tent.
So, and then back in so kind of what year would that have been?
1972.
1972. So what were some of the fundraisers that the kids did back in those days? Because, when I think of popcorn and different stuff like that.
Well, popcorn didn't start with the Scouts until 1982.
Okay.
But, excuse me, our troop, we sold light bulbs and I hated it.
Excuse me. I remember vaguely the light bulbs.
It was like you'd walk up to a door, knock, hey, you want some light bulbs? But the popcorn thing really took off. And I was in Connecticut when it started, and I recruited for my popcorn chairman somebody that worked for Sears and Roebuck, and he got their fleet of vehicles to deliver all the popcorn that we sold. So we didn't even have to move it, which was really nice. And there was probably a total of 4 products back then. But the last time I was involved with it, I mean, there was probably 20 to 30 different products, and it was all popcorn.
Yeah, and that was a big fundraiser for each troop, because they get to keep that money.
Correct.
Yeah, because both of my boys were in Scouts, and the only thing I look back, I've never put a lot of pressure on my kids to participate in certain things, but they were in Scouts. My wife was heavily involved, helping out, and both of them got right to the edge of Eagle Scout, but neither one of them finished it. And I was always like, should I have put more pressure on them to do that? I don't know. I mean, they just they were in it from the youngest that you can get, and they just got to that point. And I don't know. I just think they got into high school and other things started to take priority, and they just didn't finish the Eagle Scout part.
Correct. And it's girlfriends and sports is what stops them, because they get into that. But see, I'm not a sports guy, and I earned my Eagle at 16 and then worked on summer camp staff for 7 years and then went into the profession. So that's what I did for all those years.
It's been a big part of your life.
And every council I worked in, I was a camp director.
So you transitioned, what brought you into running the local habitat? Do we call it just office or a chapter, or what do you call it? I mean,
so in Boy Scouts, it's a district. In Red Cross, it's a chapter. And in Habitat, it's an affiliate.
Affiliate, okay.
I got hoodwinked into it by two friends. They'll remain nameless. But I was actually looking for something to do, and a friend said, "Would you ever consider Habitat?" And I really didn't know a whole lot about it. Mm-hmm. But I love woodworking and rehabbing houses and that sort of thing. So I came on as a volunteer, and then they put me on the board. Then 3 months later, they made me the president, and then they told me the real reason they wanted me there was to take over as executive director in 3 months or whatever it was.
Okay.
So that's how I got here.
But yeah, I mean, you have pretty good resume to take over. I mean, even though it was a different organization.
Correct.
With the skill set that you have, and then the experience in the not-for-profits with Red Cross and Scouting, I'm sure they were probably fortunate to have you accept that job. And maybe there's some people might say differently. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, the big thing is, people hear nonprofit or they're involved with a nonprofit, and then they think all nonprofits are the same, and they're not. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're on the surface, maybe that looks like it, but they're all different. But what's key in all of them is, your contacts and your leadership and that sort of thing. So going into Habitat, it was more about learning what Habitat was and is than it was. I got a passel of friends and whatnot that I can count on to help, right, volunteer and that sort of thing. What is different is that for me is, it was Boy Scouts of America, it was the American Red Cross, but Habitat for Humanity is an international nonprofit. So there's a little different. Everybody thinks that Jimmy Carter was the one who invented it, and that's not true. And it's just been a little different. So the next level up is we have a state office in Indianapolis, and that staff up there helps me a lot. Okay. So, and then it goes straight to, the United States and Canada are a region, and then the rest of the United States is broken up, and then the world.
I was going to ask you about the international part of it, and if you go to, your affiliate has its own website, but then there's the national website, and at least here in this area, because I don't think it's not all just building houses for people, but is that kind of the primary function, at least locally?
And even worldwide.
Okay.
It's housing.
Yeah. I think there's other things when someone wants to see what that is, they can go on the websites, but primarily it's creating some of affordable housing for people that might not otherwise be able to afford it. I was going to go into some of the program a little bit, have some notes, but it's just providing housing for people.
Correct.
In a creative way.
And the person you're providing housing for is identified ahead of time and have to do sweat equity hours. Mm-hmm. So we don't build a house and give it to somebody. They're there every step of the way. There's other things that can be done, but it all depends on the size of your affiliate and what. So it's me and one other as staff.
Yes.
And then a volunteer board, and then we have volunteers that are in some of the standing committees and whatnot. So obviously we can't provide what a big, huge metro affiliate does.
So what comes first? You find a piece of property, a home that you can rehab, or even, I think you've done rehabbing, even in some cases when you and I just had met briefly, even new construction has been part of some of the homes. But so what comes first? Getting that home and getting it up, and then somebody applying for it, or you have somebody who's met the criteria, and then you try to find a home that they can live in. Which
yes, and yes.
Okay, all right.
We do an open enrollment, which excuse me, is coming up in January and February, and I'll give you our website here. Our program, and they have to apply, and then we shut it down, and then Amy and I will go through everything, make sure that everything we need is there, and then we turn that over to a volunteer committee.
Okay.
And then they'll figure out the top 2 or 3 families. So it depends, but you try to time the project with having the family. Mm-hmm. And it takes, even after you identify the family, it's going to take no less than a year before they actually close on the house and move into it.
Okay.
Lately, we've been rehabbing houses because it's far more cost effective. So to build a 3-bedroom, 1-car garage from scratch, it's going to be over $150,000, but we can buy a rehab and replace everything in it for $50,000. So it makes it work out better. So our people, they have to apply. They have to follow all the same rules as anybody going to a bank for a mortgage. The good news is our mortgages are 20 years, 0%. Mm-hmm. And the big part of that is being 0%. That's how we can help. We call it a helping hand up, not a hand out.
Right.
So in the 3 years I've been involved, we rehabbed a house up on Hunt Street. We rehabbed a house right next to our office on South Ave. And now we're up on Sheridan, rehabbing a house, and we doubled the size of the house. So this is our first rehab with new construction.
Yeah.
And it was because the family that we have that's going in there is a single mom with 2 kids. So it happens to be a boy and a girl. So we needed 3 bedrooms. Mm-hmm. So, and the house was only 600 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. So we've doubled the size of the house. We put on a 600 square foot addition, which is the master bedroom and the garage and a bathroom. And that's where we're working now. The slab's been done, the walls are up, the roof is up. So I'm hoping very early. I don't want to say, but I'm hoping we get done with it quickly.
Yeah.
And again, we've already gutted the house. Wolverine sent out a bunch of volunteers one day, and they gutted all the paneling off the walls, all the insulation out, blah, 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 blah. So we could get in there and start the next thing, rewire the whole house, replumb the whole house, all new furnace. The house will have central air for the first time. And that's where we're at.
Do you find, it seems like if you know this community, you drive all around, it seems like there's lots of opportunities for rehab
Mm-hmm.
homes, but do you find it hard to get them? Because it seems like I gotta be careful how I say this. There's a lot of people that there's certain people that buy some of these homes, and just want to turn right around and rent them, and they're not the greatest of conditions,
right?
And so, not like when you get them, what you guys do to them, but so they buy them up real quick, and then they'll turn around and just try to rent them, and so are you competing against that kind of crowd, or is it? I don't know. I could be totally off base here. I don't know. I mean,
so the first two houses, we bought them from private individuals. This particular home up on Sheridan, we got through the commissioners.
Okay.
So the good news about this house is that we're going to renovate that thing from top to bottom, and basically it will be brand new the day the family moves into it. But one of the good things for the city is that house is now going back on the tax rolls. And I like doing it that way. But I'm glad that on this one, for me and my current set of volunteers, that we're going through a new construction part of it too.
Okay.
So we're all learning a little bit.
Yeah. So you've been on board a couple of years, and so how many houses have you been a part of since?
This is the third one I've been involved with.
So is that kind of? I mean, you've been on organization for a couple of years. Is that kind of normal? House and a half a year. I mean, or is it?
Well, for us, that's what our average is currently. But we're also growing with our volunteer base. And even though I wasn't involved during COVID hit a lot of affiliates hard with, like, you can't build a house when you're required to be 6 feet apart.
Right.
And then they were doing Zoom meetings instead of face-to-face meetings. So the whole volunteer base kind of disappeared. So we're back rebuilding all of that. I would say I would like to get to the point where we're doing 2 or 3 a year. But what will make that happen is rehabbing houses, because
right.
You find a house with good bones. Well, you're 3 months ahead if you were building one from scratch.
Sure, it's finding a good home that has, like you said, good bones that you can rehab, and then also kind of where you are with your volunteer base, and then also I'm sure there's different partners in the community. You mentioned Wolverine was one of them. Different people that organizations maybe that help out. Is there any other partners like that have kind of helped out?
Yeah, Centerpoint Energy, which was Vectran.
Okay,
they've helped on all 3 of the houses. So they'll send a team over, and they can do anything you ask them to do. So one of the first things, obviously, is, they'll check out the gas lines and all that. And if they need to be replaced, we replace them. But all of those guys can do anything. So they came out a month ago and put all the trusses up on the new part of the house, got the sheathing down and the tar paper down. They did that all in like 3.5 hours.
Wow.
And it's great. Or the first house they came to, they did 2 things. They put in all new gas lines and put flooring down.
Okay.
The second house, same thing, gas lines. There was something else I had them do, but I can't remember exactly what it was. And then this time when they came out, it was gas lines and the roof.
Is there another piece of property right now that you guys have that's kind of on the list?
No.
Not currently.
No.
The program, just to go back just a little bit, you said there's a sign up period, right? What did you call? I forget what you called it. Made me think of insurance.
Open enrollment.
It made me think of insurance. Open enrollment period. Yeah. And so people come in, and then, but the criteria, from what I understand, is, and maybe this is part of the open enrollment, they have to provide their ability to pay their payment, and then their particular need for housing has to be vetted, and then their willingness to partner with Habitat, and that's where they have to serve so many hours, whatever. Is that, am I correct?
Correct.
In that? Okay.
Right. And we follow, the HUD guidelines and everything. And what we do with the open enrollment, the first thing is get a flyer, and it's going to tell you everything you need to provide. If there's anything that you can't provide or whatnot, we'll talk to you, but, and the reason we do that is because when you get to the actual application, one, it's like 14 pages long, and two, that's when you have to start providing, credit reports and checking accounts and all that sort of thing. And so if they can do all that, then the process is easier to, moving forward. And then we turn that over, like I said, we turn that over to the Partner Family Committee, and that's volunteer based. Some are involved with mortgages at a bank or real estate or whatever. So, they know what they're looking for, and based on applications, who's, going to be number one, number two, number three.
I would think that good board members would be somebody that's involved in banking, and somebody that's into building trades, and maybe someone in real estate, maybe an attorney. I don't know. But I would think that a good mix of those type of people would really help a lot with your organization.
Well, we have had and still have people in all of those professions. We have bankers, construction. We had an attorney serving as secretary, real estate. So we've had all those. And we've had, when I first got involved, we had a lot in other professions, but at that time, that's 3 years ago, there was actually a lot of bankers on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But if people are interested, they can go on our website. There's a volunteer application on there. What I like about our application is you fill out everything that you're good at and what you don't want to do. And then we figure out how to plug you in.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned that, we'll put it up, but what is the website?
It's goodnewshabitat.org.
Okay.
And what you got to remember is you got to put the Good News Habitat in there, because if you just Google Habitat for Humanity, you're going to get the whole world.
Yeah. So goodnewshabitat.org.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So if somebody wants to volunteer, that's where they would go. What if somebody wants to make some type of contribution? How do they do that?
They can contact us. They can give us a call. Our business phone number is 765-962-5986.
Okay.
And currently we have a lot of people that want to donate stuff, physical stuff, but we find out what it is, try to find out the quality of it, whatever. And we've been doing we call it a warehouse sale, the first Friday, Saturday of every month, which is this Friday, Saturday. We'll be doing the December one at our warehouse. And it's home goods, building materials, you name it, we get it. And all that money goes into whatever house we're working on.
Okay.
And
so those things, do you use any of those things, or it's just stuff that you sell to use the funds?
we will use it if it's brand spanking new.
Okay. What if it's okay?
We have to make a judgment call on it, but for the most part, if it's brand new and it, for example, a hood over a stove or something like that, if it's brand new, then we'll use the one that was donated as opposed to going out and spending another $150 on it.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, people can make cash is king. So if someone wants to write a check, you'll take that. That's
Good news habitat.
I'll take whatever, but cash is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And construction materials. Now, how do you avoid? I'm really trying not to be negative here, but how do you avoid people just bringing you their trash that you have to deal with? So I don't. This is the easy way for me just to get rid of this crap. So I'll just drive over to Habitat and leave it at their doorstep. I mean, what are the kind of things that's helpful, and what are some of the things like, hey, appreciate the thought, but no, we really don't want that.
Well, we know when somebody calls. What we do not take is clothing, anything material wise, because of bed bugs.
Mm-hmm.
We will have them take pictures of stuff and send it to us so we can decide if we're going to accept it. We do have the dumping problem, sort of. Primarily, the people who call us are a couple in their 50s, early 60s, and they have to clean out mom and dad's old house.
Right.
And so we get a lot of those calls.
Mm-hmm.
And if need be, we'll go over and visit and tell them what we will and won't take.
Yeah. So it's not really, there's not a setup right now where people can just bring stuff and drop off to you. So they have to contact you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, for example, just changed out this dining room light in our home. The light that we took down, perfectly, it's like new, but it just wasn't. We wanted more light in that room.
Correct.
So
because you're getting older.
My son, well, that's part of it. But my son happened to move back to town, and so he didn't like his light that was over his dining, so he bought a new one, put it up, and then the one that he had, like, oh, we like that. That's better than what we have. Mm-hmm. So he helped put that up, and we have the other one. So perfectly wonderful condition, dining, ceiling light. I guess that's something
correct
that you would take.
Right, because we can put that in a warehouse sale, and somebody that's rehabbing their own house or mm-hmm. whatever. I mean, we got more light fixtures. Mm-hmm. There's plenty to choose from.
Okay.
We'll take that. And then in a situation like that, you can just come and make the appointment and just bring it to our office.
Okay.
And then we'll get it over to our warehouse.
Right. But people need to bring it to you. You're not mm-hmm. in a situation where you can come and get stuff.
It depends. We can come and get it, because especially for the folks that are clearing out a whole house. We do have a 12-foot box truck.
Okay.
Do we like taking it out? No, not really.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that requires a volunteer to come and not exactly know what they might be getting into, as far as lifting and loading up and whatever. Yeah. So, but anyway, so you will take those donations, but just make sure it's something useful, because that just creates kind of more work for you all to deal with. Anything else on the volunteering or donation contribution side of things?
The warehouse gig, we've been doing it for a year and a half now, and that was to build up a following, because we'd like to get to the point where we have a full-fledged restore.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know what that is, because you see them all over the place. So that's part of why we're doing that. And then the other thing on the fun side that we do is we have fundraising events.
Mm-hmm.
And we only do 3.
All right.
The next one coming up is the Gala, hard hats and high heels Gala. It will be at the Leland. Tickets are $60 per person, or you can buy a table for $400 and save some money, get your friends together. We basically do the Corner Cafe provides the meal. We do a silent auction and a live auction.
All right.
And 50-50, and it's kind of an upscale thing. Then in June we do a par 3 golf tournament, and in October we do a Halloween thing.
All right. Yeah. So it's the 3rd annual, and we'll make sure that we put this up, but it's the 3rd annual hard hats and high heels Gala, and it's at Leland, and it's February 21st at 6:00. And if they go to your Good News Habitat, is there something on there?
Yeah, it's on.
Talk about it right now.
It's on the website. The initial flyer is on the website right now.
Okay.
It will. You can buy tickets on Eventbrite, or if you're a company and you're going to buy a table or two, just call us, and if you want to, use a credit card or write a check.
The par 3 tournament, that's kind of cool because there are quite a few golf tournaments in town, but that's a kind of a different kind of a spin. So just all par 3s. So it makes kind of a shorter day and maybe brings in more people who could participate than normally.
It's a lot of fun, and from who's ever putting it on, it is much shorter. From start to finish is only 4 hours. For those that don't know what it is, the golf course turns all 18 holes into a par 3, so there's no 4s and 5s, and that's what makes it go a lot faster.
Where was last year's at?
We did it at Forest Hills.
Okay,
but what I want to do is move it around the county. And a novice golfer can participate in that and still have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like that idea.
So there's cash prizes for first, second, and third place teams. We also pick one of the holes, and if you hit a hole in one, it's $250 prize. If there is no hole in one winner in the course of the thing, we have a closest to the pin thing. You got to buy a raffle ticket for it, and then we pick out 2 people at the very end when everybody's done, and the closest to the pin is a $500 cash prize. If there's no hole in one prize given, that $250 gets put onto the $500, and then the closest to the pin turns into a $750 cash prize. And again, it's closest to the pin, and we pick 2 people, so you don't have to be on the green to win. If it's the closest to the pin, I mean, you could be in the other fairway and win.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I like that. The warehouse, which is on Southeast Street. So currently you don't have, are there any days right now that are on the calendar that you do have sales there or not? Or is that something?
It's always the first Friday, Saturday of a month from 10 to 3. That's a given.
Okay.
And our next step would probably go to doing 2 weekends a month.
Okay.
But
do you and Amy go there for those? So you kind of work those or not?
Yeah.
Or Amy volunteer driven?
Yeah. Amy and I do Friday, and then I and the partner family do Saturday. Mm-hmm. And we're open through the winter, and there's no heat in that building.
So yes. So Amy, she's the other staff member.
Correct.
That works at Habitat. And I was trying to think of anything else. Anything else that you want to share? You've done a great job talking about it. I mean, it's a great organization. And so what do you kind of see coming around the bend for Habitat? Anything different, or just trying to maybe get a little up the houses that we're doing annually?
We have to start hunting for the next house. Amy's gearing up for the open enrollment. Mm-hmm. So that's what's coming up in the winter months.
How many people might enroll? Do you have a ballpark? Do you know?
Well, last year we had 33 apply. And by the time we went through everything, there were only 3 picked.
Okay.
But they were, and actually, number 1 is already in a house. Number 2 is on this house. And then I forget what happened to number 3.
It takes a while, so sometimes I'm sure some of the people.
It's not overnight.
Some of them move on to other opportunities that may come up, come around, I guess.
And the other thing too, we get a lot of calls. We don't have any rentals, and we don't do any direct sales of homes. You got to, for a house, you got to go through our program.
Okay, all right. Well, really appreciate the great work that you're doing,
thank you.
And it's a lot of it's. Just you and Amy, so a lot of it's volunteer driven, right?
Yep.
So I'm sure if you have questions about what it means to be a volunteer, you can call and talk to
either of us,
to either of you about it, and just go to the website and check things out. But it's been great to learn more about Habitat, and really appreciate your service to our community.
Well,
very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, it's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. That's all for this episode of The Hub. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another conversation with a difference maker from our region. Manpower is proud to support The Hub. Find out how they can support your business at mprichmond.com.